It's pregame at Browns Stadium. The crowd's not quite full yet, the lights are just beginning to hum with that electric buzz, and players are trickling onto the field one by one. You've got wide receivers stretching out routes, defensive backs dancing to the warm-up playlist, linemen going through their half-hearted walk-throughs, and kickers? Well, they're doing that thing where they just kind of vibe off to the side, swinging their legs like sleepy giants. It's routine. It's predictable. It's warm-ups. Except, one guy doesn't look like he's just going through the motions. One guy isn't laughing with teammates or checking his wristband for show. One guy is fully suited, zoned in, and firing bullets across the field like it's the 2-minute drill in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. That guy? Shedeur Sanders.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
Now, keep in mind he's not playing in this game. He's listed as inactive. No reps. No headset duties. Not even dressing for the emergency QB slot. But you wouldn't know that by the way he's moving. Because while most inactives hang out in joggers or hoodies, Shedeur's out there in full Browns gear, helmet tucked under his arm, cleats hitting the turf like it's game time. He's not mimicking intensity. He is intensity. And that's why everyone noticed. This isn't a PR stunt. This isn't some legacy kid trying to keep up appearances because his dad is Deion Sanders. This is a young quarterback putting in work when no one expects him to. This is the difference between being on a roster and being a problem. Let's break it down. Shedeur is out there before kickoff, moving with calculated purpose. No wasted steps. No lazy reps. Every drop back has rhythm. Every throw has bite. Every rep is locked in with that you never know mindset. He's not warming up for show. He's warming up for war. And it doesn't take long before the camera crews start catching on. He's not just another guy spinning a ball during pregame. He looks ready. Like if something went sideways on the field, he could step in, call the first play, and not miss a beat. Now compare that to what we're seeing on the other side of the quarterback room. Joe Flacco, veteran, Super Bowl champ, respected leader, but let's be honest, he's 40. He's seen it all, done it all, but that arm? That mobility? The league is getting younger and faster every year, and Flacco looks like he's holding on with football IQ and duct tape. There's only so much you can scheme around when your quarterback's most explosive play is a 7-yard curl route. So when Flacco jogs onto the field with that dad at the barbecue energy, and Shedeur's back there looking like he's training for a heavyweight title fight, people notice. And here's the key. Shedeur isn't just physically ready, he's mentally dangerous. He's not playing this like a rookie hoping to impress. He's preparing like a starter who's just waiting for the lock to click. The moment that headset comes off, he's not learning. He's launching. You can see the Deion DNA in his approach. That swagger, yes, but behind it? Discipline. Control. Execution. He's been taught that readiness isn't about hype. It's about repetition. It's about reps when no one's looking. It's about being the first one mentally locked in, and the last one to break focus. And for Shedeur, that warm-up wasn't symbolic. It was strategic. Because here's the truth that every Browns fan feels but might not want to say out loud. The offense isn't dangerous right now. It's not broken, but it's not striking fear either. The defense? Elite. Myles Garrett is eating quarterbacks like snack food. The secondary is locking things down. But week after week, the offense starts slow, stalls late, and survives off field goals and prayer. That's not going to get it done in January. And here's where the buzz around Shedeur gets real. You've got a young quarterback who knows the system, respects the playbook, and has been quietly building rhythm and chemistry behind the scenes. But more importantly, he's been watching, studying how Flacco reads the pocket, how defenses disguise coverages, how the speed of the game shifts from the sideline. And let's not pretend like the locker room doesn't see it too. Players respect grinders. They watch who stays after practice, who keeps their helmet on, who brings energy even when they're not on the field. And Shedeur? He's checking every box without saying a word. No me moments. No passive-aggressive comments in interviews. No cryptic Instagram captions. Just work. And when that work starts bleeding into warm-ups, that's when you know the shift is coming. Because the NFL isn't just about stats or depth charts. It's about momentum. And right now, Shedeur Sanders is building momentum in silence. And trust, when the Browns finally need to make a change, and they will, whether it's from a bad loss, an injury, or just the offense flatlining mid-game, it won't be some dramatic leap of faith. It'll be the obvious next move. You won't hear fans yelling, "Put the rookie in," like it's desperation. You'll hear them say, it's time. And Shedeur will be there. Helmet already on. Game already in his head. Because he's not waiting for opportunity. He's already living like it's here. That's why this one warm-up, this one pre-game sequence that most people would have ignored, is getting talked about everywhere. It's not what Shedeur did. It's what it represents. The patience, the poise, the preparation. All building toward a moment that hasn't happened yet, but feels inevitable. And when it hits, it's not going to be a soft debut. It's going to be a statement. So here's the question. What are the Browns waiting for? Because the defense is playing lights out. The uniforms are fresh. The stadium is buzzing. All they need now, a quarterback to match the energy. And if you're reading between the lines, if you're seeing what we're seeing, that quarterback is already standing on the sideline, already throwing ropes before kickoff, already moving like the moment is his. His name is Shedeur Sanders. And he's not just getting ready. He is ready. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should the Browns give Shedeur a shot before the season slips away? Did you notice that energy shift during warm-ups too? And while you're here, make sure to subscribe for more player deep dives, locker room drama, and those hidden moments that turn into headlines. Because some players ask for the spotlight. Others warm up until the world can't look away. You ever watch something small happen and immediately know it means more? That was this. A rookie quarterback warming up before a game he won't even dress for, wearing the full uniform, running real drills, focused like he's about to be called in on 3rd and long. Meanwhile, the veterans are going through the motions, fans are just starting to fill their seats, and the camera crews barely finished setting up. But there he is, locked in, zoned out, dialed all the way up. Shedeur Sanders didn't come to watch. He came to work. And look, if this was any other rookie, we might be calling it overkill. Maybe even doing too much. But this isn't any other rookie. This is a guy who's been under the microscope for years, who had to earn every bit of credibility while carrying the weight of a last name that's synonymous with greatness. This isn't just about football. This is about expectation. Shedeur walks into every locker room with a target already on his back. And instead of flinching, he meets it head-on. With film study, with reps, with composure, with exactly the kind of consistency most young QBs don't learn until their 2nd or 3rd year, if ever. Let's be real. You can't fake the kind of presence Shedeur carries. The NFL is brutal. It's loud. It's fast. It's full of doubters, haters, and 300-pound linemen who would love nothing more than to break your confidence in your collarbone. And yet, Shedeur has already proven that he can handle pressure. Because he invites it. He's not here to survive the moment. He's here to own it. Now, let's zoom in on what makes this moment in Cleveland so critical. The Browns are close. They're not the same old Cleveland team from 5 years ago. This team has real talent, real energy, a top 3 defense with Myles Garrett playing like a Marvel villain. They've got swagger. They've got hunger. But what don't they have? A quarterback who matches that energy. Joe Flacco? Look, give him credit. He's doing what Joe Flacco does. Hitting checkdowns, managing games, throwing a few vintage deep balls when the pocket holds. But when that pocket collapses, when you need improvisation, movement, something extra, that's when the offense stalls. And that's when the sideline cameras just happen to land on Shedeur. Helmet on, eyes sharp, throwing air routes like he's in a live game. He's not just preparing in case. He's mentally running the offense before it even hits the field. And honestly, that's what separates future starters from forgettable backups. It's not about getting reps. It's about taking ownership when no one's asking you to. And that's exactly what Shedeur did against the Packers. Think about how rare that is. A rookie QB listed inactive still chooses to put in full-speed warm-ups in the new uniforms, no less. He knows the optics. He knows the fans are watching. And he uses it, not to show off, but to show the entire organization what's possible. It's like he's saying, I'm not waiting for the moment. I am the moment. You just haven't caught up yet. Let's be honest, how many other players on the inactive list do you see behaving like that? You know what most guys do. Woody. Laugh with teammates. Maybe toss a ball around lazily on the sideline. It's a formality. A chill day. But not Shedeur. That's not how he's built. He was on that field with a chip on his shoulder, but not in a toxic way. Not with bitterness. With belief. He knows he belongs. And more importantly, he knows what's coming. Because if you're paying attention, you know what's happening here isn't hype. It's a slow burn. This isn't about one game or one moment. It's about momentum. And Shedeur's got it. You can feel it every time he drops back in practice. Every time he runs a fake rollout at full speed during warm-ups. Every time a clip goes semi-viral, not because of something he said but because of how locked in he looks. That's when people start asking questions. Why is he moving like a starter? Is the QB competition actually open? What does the locker room think? Does he already know something we don't? And those questions? They're only getting louder. Because as Shedeur continues stacking these silent wins week after week, play after play, even as an inactive, he's building a resume that the coaches can't ignore. The front office can't ignore. The locker room can't ignore. Eventually, someone upstairs is going to ask the question, what are we waiting for? And when that day comes, and it will, Shedeur won't have to adjust. He won't have to scramble. He won't have to change anything at all. Because he's already been playing this game, in his head, in his feet, in his body language, for months. He's already built chemistry. Already earned quiet respect. Already lived the starter life without the title. That's not easy to do. That's not common. That's elite mindset. And when his number gets called, the NFL better brace itself. Because what we're watching right now is not a backup quarterback waiting to be useful. What we're watching is a starter in disguise, slowly pulling back the curtain. See, in football, the little things tell you everything. The way a guy walks into the stadium. The way he tapes his wrist. The way he approaches a pregame warm-up when he knows damn well he's not taking a snap. And that's where Shedeur sets himself apart. Other players? Pregame is vibes. Receivers are out there clowning, running half routes, one-hand catches for the cameras. Linemen are stretching just enough to not pull a hamstring. Kickers are air kicking, looking like they're rehearsing a bad dance routine. Quarterbacks? If they're backups, they might toss a few balls, dap up teammates and fade into the background. But Shedeur? This man turned warm-ups into a declaration. Helmet buckled. Cleats digging into the turf like he was cutting into destiny itself. Every throw snapped off his hand with purpose. The kind of purpose that says, you may not call my number today, but when you do, I'll already be in rhythm. And that's the piece nobody seems to grasp. He's not inactive, he's incubating. That's a whole different vibe. Now let's talk optics. Because when Shedeur came out in that uniform, fans didn't just see another rookie. They saw possibility. They saw freshness. They saw the Browns' future dressed up and moving like the present. And don't underestimate what those uniforms did for the moment. Fresh threads symbolize reset. It's like hitting refresh on your browser after the page keeps crashing. You need that clean slate. And the Browns have been chasing one for years. Quarterback after quarterback. Regime after regime. One false dawn after another. But Shedeur in that uniform? That looked like the dawn that might finally stick. Not because he played. Not because he scored. But because he carried himself like the story's already written, and all he has to do is wait for the league to catch up. Now contrast that with Joe Flacco. Respect the man, he's got a ring, he's got a resume, he's got the scars. But if football were purely about memory, Flacco would still be elite. Unfortunately, it's not about memory. It's about mobility. And when that pocket collapses, and you're staring down a 26-year-old defensive end with the agility of a cheetah and the anger of a heavyweight champ, experience won't save you. It's instinct, speed, juice. Flacco doesn't have juice anymore. And you know who does? The rookie pacing the sideline, still running drills while the camera pans away, as if he's daring the coaches to look over and say, what if? That's the quiet tension building here. Every week, Shedeur stays locked in. Every week, the Browns' offense struggles to find identity. Every week, the defense carries the load. How long can you run that formula before the math breaks down? Because the Browns don't just need good enough. They need something different. Something that makes defenses hesitate, second-guess, hold their breath. Flacco doesn't bring hesitation. He brings predictability. Shedeur? He brings the unknown. And the unknown is terrifying in the NFL. Because when you don't know how a guy moves in real action, you can't scheme it. You can't plan for it. You just have to react. And the minute defenses are reacting instead of dictating, that's when Shedeur flips the game. Now here's the part one love most. He's not begging for it. He's not jumping on social media, crying foul, throwing shade at coaches, or running a PR campaign to demand reps. He's not even talking. He's just working. That's a rare mentality in today's league. We're in the era of TikTok stars, Instagram stories, passive-aggressive God's plan captions after a loss. But Shedeur? He's cutting through all that noise with silence that speaks louder. You want to see leadership before it's official? That's it. Because leadership isn't about what you say when you're on the mic. It's about what you do when nobody expects you to. And Shedeur warming up like a starter while being officially inactive? That's leadership. That's discipline. That's belief. And here's the kicker. It's contagious. Think about the locker room. Players notice everything. They know who shows up late, who dogs it in practice, who's faking effort for the coaches. And they also know who's locked in no matter what. So imagine you're a wide receiver watching Shedeur throw in warm-ups with precision, timing, and energy, even though he won't touch the field that day. You're thinking, if he's this sharp now, what's he going to be like when the lights are actually on? That builds trust before a single live pass is thrown. That's chemistry in the making. And in football, chemistry wins games just as much as talent. So let's project. Picture it, Week 14. The Browns are in a tight divisional race. Flacco's slowing down, taking hits, throwing picks under duress. The fans are restless. The offense feels stuck in mud. And then, sideline shot. Shedeur Sanders. Helmet on. Visor gleaming under the lights. The stadium buzzes. Twitter lights up. Announcers lean into their mics. And suddenly it's not if. It's when. That's not fantasy, that's inevitability. Because Shedeur isn't just prepping for his chance. He's constructing it. One rep at a time. One warm-up at a time. One locked-in stare that tells everyone around him, this is my team. You just don't know it yet. And let's not forget the Sanders philosophy that's been drilled into him since day one. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's not just a catchy primetime slogan. That's a survival tactic. That's a weapon. That's how you turn a clipboard season into a career-launching one. Because the NFL doesn't give you time to prepare once your shot comes. The door cracks open for half a second, and if you're not already moving through it, it slams shut. Shedeur? He's not just moving toward that door. He's standing at it, key in hand. So what are we left with? A Browns team dressed in brand new uniforms, signaling a fresh identity. A defense playing championship-caliber football. A veteran QB holding things together but not elevating anyone. And a young quarterback warming up like his debut is scripted in the stars. You don't have to be a prophet to see what's coming. This isn't hype. This isn't a maybe. This is a slow countdown. And when it hits 0, the Browns won't just have a quarterback change. They'll have a cultural reset. Other players? They're stretching, doing light jogs, laughing with teammates. Defensive backs are bouncing to the stadium playlist, hyping each other up. The offensive line is jogging through footwork drills that look like they're in slow motion. Quarterbacks, if they're not starting, might casually toss the ball 15 yards back and forth, almost like they're playing catch in the backyard. It's relaxed. It's routine. But then you catch a glimpse of Shedeur. Full pads. Full energy. Drops back, plants his feet, and rifles a ball like it's 4th and goal with the season on the line. His eyes? Focused. His body language? Screaming starter vibes. Every rep looks like a dress rehearsal for a role he already knows he's destined to play. This isn't warm-up. This is visualization in motion. And when you see that contrast, the casual energy of everyone else versus the laser focus of Shedeur, you realize he's not blending in. He's standing out. Now let's talk about why this matters. Because if you've been following the Browns season, you know what the elephant in the room is. The defense is championship ready. Myles Garrett is wrecking pockets like he's auditioning for a demolition crew. The secondary is flying around, swarming receivers, making life hell for quarterbacks. But the offense? Fine. Serviceable. Surviving. And that's the problem. This isn't a league where fine gets you anywhere. You can't just rely on 17-13 wins forever. You need fire. You need unpredictability. You need a quarterback who can flip the script when the game is on the line. Joe Flacco, for all his experience and all his respect, isn't flipping scripts anymore. He's steady, sure. Reliable, maybe. But explosive? No. He's not changing the energy of a game. And then there's Shedeur, warming up like he's waiting for the baton to fall into his hands. That's when the narrative starts shifting. Because fans aren't stupid. They see it. They see the young quarterback in full uniform, moving with intent, carrying himself like he's next up. They start asking themselves, why not him? Why not now? And that's how buzz becomes pressure. What makes Shedeur dangerous is that he's not forcing it. He's not begging for attention. He's not sulking because he's inactive. He's not out there making noise on social media to get his way. He's just working. That's what Dion instilled in him. That prime philosophy of preparation. The idea that if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And Shedeur has taken that philosophy and built his entire mindset around it. Every rep matters. Every drop back matters. Every throw matters. Even if it's just pregame. Even if it doesn't count. Because here's the truth, it does count. It all counts. Teammates notice. Coaches notice. The cameras notice. Hell, the fans notice. That's why we're here talking about it right now. Let's talk about the optics one more time, because optics matter. New uniforms. New energy. New identity. The Browns stepped onto that field with a fresh look, and there was Shedeur, embodying exactly what those uniforms represent. Renewal. A fresh chapter. A reset button for a franchise that has been desperately chasing one for decades. He wasn't just wearing the uniform. He was making it look alive. And if you think that's dramatic, tell me this. When was the last time you saw fans buzzing about a guy who didn't even play? That's presence. That's aura. That's what you can't teach. Here's the scary part. Shedeur's not even close to peaking. This is still the waiting stage. The prelude. The don't forget I'm here phase. But when his time comes, he won't walk into that huddle like a rookie. He'll walk in like he's been running this offense the whole time. Because in his head, he already has. That's the power of readiness. That's the payoff for all those quiet reps, all those film sessions, all those warm-ups that people thought didn't matter. When the moment hits, he won't need to adjust. He'll just execute. And then all the doubters will sit there, stunned, asking the wrong question. Where did this come from? And we'll just smile and say, from the warm-ups you ignored. Let's be blunt, the Browns can't keep hiding him forever. The offense needs a spark. The fanbase needs hope. The locker room needs belief. And Shedeur is all three. Not because of stats. Not because of hype. But because of consistency. He's been consistent every step of the way. In college. In practice. In pregame. Even as an inactive. And consistency? That's what coaches trust. That's what teammates rally around. That's what fans cling to when the season starts to wobble. That's how legends start. Not with one big play, but with a quiet grind that builds the foundation for it. So let's land this plane. What we saw before Browns versus Packers wasn't a rookie warming up. It was a warning shot. It was Shedeur Sanders showing everyone, teammates, coaches, fans, and even opponents, that he's not waiting for the spotlight. He's already standing in it. The only question now? When will the Browns finally let him shine? Because the uniforms are new. The energy is fresh. The defense is elite. And the quarterback who fits that picture? He's been ready all along. Now it's your turn. Do you think Shedeur Sanders should get his shot sooner rather than later? Should the Browns take the leap, or should they keep riding the veteran safety net until it's too late? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe if you live for these moments. The stories behind the stats. The quiet signals that turn into seismic shifts. Because this wasn't just warm-up. This was the prologue to a takeover.